All right, let's dive right in. Welcome to the Orientation Masterclass for the 30-day Complete Puppy Training System. First off, congratulations! You're taking that definitive first step toward building an incredible, lifelong relationship with your dog. Whether you've just brought home your very first puppy, or maybe you've had dogs before but found yourself frustrated and struggling to get them to listen, this explainer is designed specifically for you. Consider this your day zero. Over the next 30 days, we're going to completely transform your puppy into a calm, confident, and well-mannered companion using a proven, highly structured system. And just to be clear, this isn't some surface-level overview. This is a premium, step-by-step guide to setting up your foundation for absolute success. So here is exactly what we're going to cover in this orientation. Section 1 is the training philosophy. Section 2, essential training supplies. Section 3 covers the 30-day roadmap. Section 4 dives into how puppies actually learn. And finally, Section 5, avoiding common mistakes. Moving right along to Section 1, the training philosophy. This is all about structure and consistency. Now, the foundational secret to a well-behaved dog isn't simply about what breed they are or their inherent intelligence. If you've ever looked at your puppy and thought, why won't you stop biting me? Or why is potty training taking so incredibly long? Or even, why do you constantly pull on the leash and ignore me? Take a deep breath. Seriously, you are not alone. Every single puppy owner faces these exact same challenges. It's so easy to wonder if you're doing something wrong, but these are completely normal hurdles, and they are exactly the behaviors we're going to resolve by relying on clear structure and communication rather than just teaching isolated tricks.
Now, what's really interesting here is how most people get this wrong. A lot of online training resources teach individual tricks in a vacuum. It's the old, flawed way of training. You get one video on sit, a completely disconnected one on stay, and another random one on leash walking. The problem? Puppies do not learn in isolated pieces. That approach just leaves you overwhelmed and your dog confused. Instead, our 30-day progression leverages how puppies actually learn naturally, through routine and consistent daily building blocks. Every single day builds naturally right on top of the day before.
Think of it literally like building a house. You wouldn't start with the roof, right? You absolutely must pour the foundation first. Every single lesson in this curriculum has been placed in a very specific chronological order for a reason. I know it's super tempting to skip ahead to that flashing outdoor obedience stuff, but doing so will actually slow your puppy's progress way down. Trust the process. If you rush the foundation, the whole house crumbles.
All right, transitioning to Section 2, essential training supplies. Let's get you prepared for success.
Before we begin the actual training protocols, we've got to make sure your physical environment is dialed in. Setting up your space is a huge part of your success. The great news here is you really don't need a bunch of expensive, complicated equipment. You just need a comfortable collar or harness, a standard lightweight leash, basic food and water bowls, a comfortable crate or a puppy-safe pen, and some safe chew toys. You're also going to need small, soft training treats. Think pea-sized, so they can be swallowed instantly without breaking your dog's focus. But honestly, the most important supplies aren't things you can buy. They are your patience and a commitment of just 15 to 20 minutes a day. That's it. Short, fun sessions are incredibly more effective than long, frustrating ones.
Moving to Section 3, the 30-day roadmap. Let's map out your journey ahead so you know exactly what to expect.
And this perfectly illustrates our exact 6-phase curriculum timeline. We're taking you from day 1 straight through to graduation. We start with building the foundation, move into essential life skills, graduate to obedience, then we take those skills on outdoor adventures, proof them for real-world reliability, and finally finish up with advanced confidence. Let's break these phases down just a bit more.
So during the first 15 days, we are entirely focused inside the home. Days 1 through 5 are all about helping your puppy settle in, getting routines locked down, and preventing mistakes before they turn into bad habits. Then, days 6 through 10 shift to communication. This is where we tackle bite inhibition, impulse control, and those very first obedience commands like sit and down. From there, days 11 through 15 are all about patience. We introduce stay, calm waiting, and emotional regulation. By establishing these home routines early on, you create the impulse control that's absolutely required for obedience. Instead of your puppy just wildly reacting to the world, they're actually learning how to make better choices.
Then, for the second half of the course, we shift from controlled indoor practice out into everyday life. Days 16 to 20 are your outdoor adventures, learning to walk on a leash without fear and handling those initial, small distractions. Days 21 to 25 build real-world reliability. We're combining commands with real-life situations so your puppy stays dialed in even when exciting things are happening around them.
And finally, days 26 to 30 bring the whole shebang together for advanced confidence and lifelong success. We proof their skills in different environments and bulletproof that recall, leading right up to graduation day.
Which brings us to Section 4, how puppies actually learn. Let's dig into a little canine psychology. To truly master the mechanics of the how, you first have to understand the why. Because if you don't understand why a dog does what it does, you can't troubleshoot it. Dogs operate on something called consequence-based learning. They don't learn through force, they learn through cause and effect. It's pretty simple. When a behavior consistently leads to a good outcome, your dog is naturally going to want to repeat it. For example, if sitting calmly consistently makes a delicious piece of kibble basically fall from the sky, your dog is going to naturally offer that sit a whole lot more often.
To leverage that psychology, professional trainers rely heavily on these core principles: positive reinforcement, clear communication, consistent routines, proper timing, and calm leadership. Now listen closely, because timing is absolutely critical here. When your dog does what you ask, your marker word, like an enthusiastic yes or the click of your clicker, must happen the exact second their bottom hits the floor, not 2 seconds later. Then the reward delivery follows immediately. That precise timing is the secret sauce. It's how you build mutual trust and reliable behavior, connecting the action directly to the consequence with zero confusion.
Let's move to our final chapter, Section 5, Avoiding Common Mistakes. Time to talk about the troubleshooting mindset.
Look, training is a deeply emotional journey. Knowing how to troubleshoot is vital. And the single biggest mistake we see handlers make time and time again is expecting way too much, way too soon. You've got to remember, your puppy is trying to learn an entirely new way of living in a human world. They aren't born just knowing how to behave on our terms. Mistakes are going to happen. Potty accidents will happen on your rug. There will be days where your progress feels painfully slow.
As the old saying goes, training is never a straight line. Some days, your puppy is going to seem like a tiny genius who learns incredibly fast, and other days, they might just stare blankly at you and appear to have forgotten literally everything you've taught them. Guess what? That is completely normal. Regressions are just part of the process. When it happens, and it will, just stay patient and stay consistent. Every single professional trainer out there has ridden this exact same roller coaster.
But if you commit to this system, if you do the daily lessons in the proper order without skipping ahead, just look at the transformational outcomes you're going to achieve by day 30. Your dog will understand your household routines. They're going to be significantly more reliable with their potty training and actually comfortable hanging out in their crate. They will respond to basic commands like sit, down, and stay. They'll walk calmly on a leash, display real impulse control, and handle distractions confidently. And honestly, the best part? You are going to become a much more confident owner because you'll know exactly why these methods work, giving you a toolkit that will serve you for the rest of your dog's life.
So, here we are at the starting line. Every masterfully trained dog out there started exactly where your puppy is sitting today. Over the next 30 days, you are going to become their teacher and their guide. So, the only question left is, are you ready to begin day 1 and prepare your home for success? Go grab your treats, take a deep breath, and let's get to work. I will see you in the very first lesson.